What is up, everybody? Welcome back to episode 45 of Think Twice, the magic and pop culture show hosted by me, Justin Parnell, and my co-host, Ollie Antrazi.
What's up, guys?
That's you.
That's me. How you doing, Parnell?
I'm okay. I've been better. Been better.
Been better?
Had a rough week. Yeah.
I've heard your I heard Krufix made it rain on your place because you defied him. I heard you used some of that blue mana to make some moss.
I will always defy Krufix. Because if that's what Krufix is doing, he controls rain. Erebos controls death, so I'd much rather be in Erebos' graces, because eventually, Ollie, the Grim Reaper, the god of the dead, will come calling for you, and you'll be like, but I got this rain.
Nah, but Krufix sees all and knows all, so he can defy fate if he wants to. But hey, Ollie.
Yeah, but you can't.
Hey, Krufix is my homeboy. He's got my back. So he's gonna...
Hashtag Krufix is my homeboy.
He is.
I don't think... Is Krufix a boy?
No, he's actually... It's not a boy or girl. It's just a...
So it's not a he either. It's just a...
Right,
it.
But I can call him a he. I can call it a he.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it sounds
Or
like
she.
you and Krufix are not as close as you think that you are.
We're
Anyway, for those of you watching on YouTube, you can see behind me, I don't have anything. And in fact, actually, you can also see this gigantic humidifier, because last week, as we were recording Think Twice, at some point in the episode, you heard a very large thud in the background. And as it turned out, I had no idea at the time, even though I kind of turned around and reacted to it. What that thud was Stephen Green falling down the stairs as discovering that our house was flooding. So
That's awful.
It's really not funny. So he was walking down the stairs to go into our laundry room, which is on the lower level, and there was water everywhere, so he slipped and fell. He's okay. He bashed one of his toes pretty good, but the water that flooded my room is on the lower level, and it came into my room, which obviously I didn't know, because it's not like water was like, hello, need to be in here for a moment. So it kind of just barged itself in and then got everywhere. I didn't really lose anything. Fortunately, I don't have too many things on the floor, but obviously there was a lot of water, so they had to take up all of the carpet in my room, and it's a CF right now. And that's why the posters are gone, because there's gigantic fans, which are not on right now, but are going to be on as soon as we finish recording this podcast, because they need to dry out basically the entire bottom level of our house. So that's fun. So that was my week. It's been a great time. It's been a really great time.
Well,
thank you.
You're welcome. I caught some Charmanders during the event.
I did do that on Saturday. Since I didn't want to be in my house with all the mold.
How many did you get?
Well, I didn't count, but I got a lot.
How many shinies? Sorry, how many shinies did you get?
3. I have three shiny Charizards, black Charizards now.
You evolved them to Charizard?
Yeah.
Okay. I just got 2 Charmanders. I stopped.
You didn't evolve them?
I evolved a regular I evolved a Wonder into a Charizard, but the shiny Charizard, the shiny Charmander, I left him alone, because one was had low IVs, the other one had medium IVs. So I was like, I'll just evolve the one with the biggest IVs to the Charizard.
I just evolved all of them because I wanted them to have the special move for the Community Day, Blast Burn.
Fair enough. Oh, also, did you hear about the new? We're skipping all generations, going to Aloha, the Hawaii place.
Partially, yeah. The original Pokemon's Alolan forms are going to be coming soon. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Yes, people still play Pokemon Go. By the way, for those of you that was like, do people still play that game?
Yes.
Yeah, they do.
And it's so much better than it was when it first came out.
Yeah, it's a real game now, rather than a hastily put together thing that they were trying to make money off of.
Yeah.
Now it's a well put together thing they're trying to make money off of, which is a massive difference.
It is. It is. I still want to get the. So apparently in the Aloha, whatever you call it, the Hawaiian form, call it Hawaii. The Hawaiian form.
It's just a low one.
Sure. Hawaii. Executor.
Okay.
Executor has a long neck, and he's a dragon.
Yeah, dragon and grass type, which
Yeah,
is pretty cool.
He trades a psychic to be a dragon.
I want to get. I want two of them. I want to get the Ninetales, which is like ice and fairy.
Yeah, that's sweet. Actually, that looks sweet.
That one's super sweet. And then I want to get the Golem, which is rock and electric.
Really?
Dude, yeah.
I know that.
Yeah, and he has a rock mustache and chest hair.
Oh god, I gotta say,
It's
I didn't see
fantastic.
that.
You gotta check it out. He looks awesome.
I saw Dugtria, or Dugtria, but they're all females. So they have long blonde hair. Yes, it looks like wigs.
Really weird.
Looks like wigs, but they're not wigs.
It does.
Are they still the same form? Ground?
They're ground and steel.
Oh wow, it's awesome. I also saw Grimer. I think he's like dark and poison now or something.
Yeah,
dark.
and he's like multicolored. Like multicolored now. It's pretty cool. I like them. I like them. They might not be good, but they do look cool.
The last thing I want to say about that is I wonder if you evolve a Pikachu with like a hat or whatever, or some kind of hat into a Raichu.
If the new Raichu has a hat, that's a good question. I'm sure people will find out.
We'll find out soon enough.
Like seconds of them being a thing.
Yeah.
So okay, we also had a question of the week last week.
We did.
And I don't want to say it wasn't fair, but time has been on my side in this question of the week, because the question of the week was, simply put, which Planeswalker is better? Karn, Silent of Urza, which was Ollie's choice, or Jace the Mind Sculptor, which was my choice. Now, I will say, 28% of people voted for Karn, 55% of people voted for Jace. I think that Jace is better, but I'm not 100%. I don't necessarily believe that it is better by the percentage of votes that was the discrepancy. That makes sense?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
I think Karn, so I thought about it. I think Karn's probably, in my opinion, like the third best Planeswalker.
I think a better question would have been Karn versus Lily the Veil.
Yeah, I would have taken Lily still.
Yeah, I'll take Karn. I'll take Karn, and that would have been like actually a good battle, I think.
Yeah. Maybe we'll...
But it's weird that because Lily sees played Modern, right? And Jace does not see played Modern.
Very little, yeah.
Right, Lily sees a lot more.
Significantly.
And they both see played Legacy about the same amount. Actually, Lily, a little more.
About the same amount. About the same amount, yeah.
And the Vintage...
Lily sees more... I would say, like, per capita, they see the same amount.
What about Vintage? Lily or Jace?
Jace, all the way. Lily sees... She's like a fringe playable card in Vintage.
Okay, so
and they both dominated Standard, obviously. Right. Jace more so than Liliana, but
right, got banned. And I think Karn is better than Liliana in Vintage.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, well, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think that's definitely
right. Okay,
yeah, so maybe this won't be our question of the week, but one little bonus question. If you guys want to tweet at us at Ollie Eldrazi, at JParnell1, or at ThinkTwiceMTG, let us know, who do you think is better, Karn, Silent of Urza, or Liliana of the Veil? I'm going to go with Liliana. Karn's going to be Ollie's pick, but that's kind of, I guess that's our redo question of the week from last week. Otherwise, if you are watching on SoundCloud, iTunes, YouTube, or Stitcher, we thank you for your support. If you would not mind, please take just a moment to leave us a review. It is very helpful to us to kind of get our name out there, so we show up more in search results when people are looking for Awesome Magic Podcast, because right now if you type in Awesome Magic Podcast on any of those, we're not the number one. So we're trying to rectify that, and we need your help. We can only do so much, and then we have to rely on you. The smartest, most beautiful, and thoughtful fans in the entire world. Intelligent.
High IQ because you played Mastermind.
That's right. So if you could do us the
solid of leaving us a review or giving us a rating, that would really help us a lot. Like, if you can't support the show with Patreon, that's fine, guys.
That's cool. That's totally fine.
Just retweet, and then Also, we do need reviews. Reviewing us on iTunes, on Stitcher, wherever. That helps us get the word out. And the bigger we get, the more we can do for everybody, for you and for.
That's right.
It just helps us out. So like, guys, even if you can't like support, like, just because you can support us through Patreon doesn't mean you can't support through other methods. There's plenty of methods to support. So and we really appreciate it. Like, it helps us a lot. So.
We really do. We really do. So thank you guys that have done so already, and thank you in the future for those of you that are going to. Okay, Ali, I think we're ready for our first segment. So if you are ready, I am ready, and if everyone else is ready, we're going to announce that we're going to have an Announcement Day discussion about Announcement Day.
So speaking of Announcement Day, I have an announcement.
Okay, I'm ready for your... Wait, are you announcing that you have an announcement?
Yes.
Or are you announcing the announcement now?
No, I'm announcing that I have an announcement.
Okay, you have an announcement.
My announcement is about a question we had earlier this year. Okay?
All right.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Now I'm announcing that I'm going to tell you what it is.
Okay.
All right, so back in February 3rd at 1:55 p.m.
I'm really going to timestamp it?
We had a question of the week, which was, are we returning to Ravnica in the summer or next year of fall of 2019? 40% side with me, 44% side with you, and 16% said, I don't know, and listen, see results. So, I just want to say, underdogs, people that side with me, that 40%, guess what? We were right, like always. So thank you for siding with me.
like always, he says.
Yes, and the people that got 44%, the higher number, as how it's Justin, you were wrong.
Okay, well, I'd like to point something out. You are implying that the same people vote based on party lines every time. I like to think that we have questions of the week that people choose a side based on what they think is right, not who's taking that side.
I think there's definitely like a 5% that choose me or you, and that's it. And I'm okay with that. I would like
my fans to critically think about each of the questions, and if you decide that Ollie has made a more persuasive argument, which will never happen, then you are free to side with Ollie, and I would encourage you to do so. That being said,
and I will say,
yes,
my fans that side with me, just go and side with me no matter what. It's okay. Just do it.
I like that.
Even if Justin is right, just side with me. Thank you.
I like your argument more in retrospect.
Thank you.
I would like to amend mine.
Okay, so we're going back to Ravnica, which is crazy because I thought we were going to have 2 blocks of Dominaria, because they said we're going to have 2 blocks of each set from now on. Like we had 2 Ixalan, we had 2 Amonkhet.
They specifically said they were not going to do that. They specifically said they weren't going to do that, Ollie.
No, they're going to have 2 blocks.
No, they specifically said they were not doing the block structure anymore. That they were going to move around planes at will.
Oh, really? Are you
sure? I'm 100% sure.
Okay, well, instead, now we're getting 3
This is actually even worse because this is the opposite of what they said.
Yeah, we're getting 3 in a row of Ravnica. Ravnica. 3 in a row. That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
it's a lot. It's a lot of Ravnica.
You love Ravnica, right?
I do love Ravnica, but like...
Is this...
The problem with this is that...
Too much Ravnica?
Yes, for me it is. Because it locks us in for almost a year on Ravnica. And I want to see the predictions. I want to go to Innistrad. I want to... see what's up with other planes. Like, see what's up with Tamio, Sandal Socks, and see what she's doing with Kamigawa. I'm curious.
Well, I mean, we don't want to see that. You could see Tamio wherever you want.
Okay, well, I want to see Tamio, and I want to hear what she has to say about Kamigawa. Okay, even if she says, "Hey, Kamigawa has blown up, it's gone, it's dead forever." Thank you, Tamio.
She never talks about Kamigawa. She's like embarrassed where she came from.
She talks a little bit.
Really? What did she say? What did she say?
I can't remember. But anyways, or even go back to Theros. I want to see Ashiok or...
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, so 3 blocks and we're like, I love Ravnica, but 3's a lot, man. 3 is so much. Like, we're not going anywhere.
3 is a lot. And I think, like, okay, so here's my, now that we know this, here's my prediction for Core Set 2019. I think Core Set 2019 is going to be a lot like Magic Origins, where we see bits of other, like, multiple different planes. And I think it's going to kind of be like a catch-up on the story where it's, like, between planes. So I do think that some of the Core Set 2019 story is going to take place on Dominaria, but I also think some of it's going to take place on Ravnica and probably on
New Phyrexia.
Probably on no, probably not New Phyrexia.
Aww.
Probably on like Kaladesh.
Okay. Well, we did see a little bit of New Phyrexia where like, where was that? Where Elish Norn basically had taken over as the head praetor. That was somewhere. It was one of our flavor texts that was on Root.
Oh, that
or something. It said like
it was on the card the conspiracy reprint of Route.
Yes, yeah, it was, yeah. Basically, it just said like, you know, Elish Norn is now the head praetor.
We've gotten little tidbits because on a Phyrexian arena you see Koth fighting a Phyrexian.
Yeah.
In Phyrexian arena. Anyway, but yeah, 3
Three's
Ravnica sets.
3's too much.
3 is a lot.
I think it's too much personally.
Which is crazy because this used to just be the norm.
Much. Yeah.
So we have Guilds of Ravnica is set number 1. That's going to have 5 guilds. Then we have Ravnica Allegiance, and Guilds of Ravnica coming out in September. Ravnica Allegiance coming out in January is also going to feature 5 guilds. And then the third Ravnica set is going to be an unnamed Ravnica set that's not going to be about the guilds, but it's actually going to be about the final, like the penultimate, the battle.
Not the final, but the
well, not the final.
That big battle.
Not necessarily the final, but the big, kind of the crescendo of the story.
Of the Gatewatch and Nicobolas.
Exactly.
Yeah, they said it'll take place in Ravnica, but it's not necessarily about Ravnica. Or the guilds,
exactly.
Basically.
It's specifically not about normal Ravnica stuff.
Yeah.
That's just where it is. That's just the setting.
I just hope Simic's on the first set so I can play with more Simic, more Simic cards. I hope Simic is in Guild of Ravnica. Or the good Simic cards are in Guild of Ravnica.
I mean, they've specifically... I mean, I got it right here.
Oh, do you? Okay, what do they say?
I sure do. Guild of Ravnica, Selesnya,
okay.
Boros,
okay.
Golgari,
okay.
Izzet, and Dimir.
Of course.
Well, it's two of each color. That's not true. Simic's not always second. Sometimes it's third.
It's true.
The original Ravnica block.
We always get... Come on, Simic. Okay, well, at least this time I hope it's not...
Hey, it's fine. Golgari's always first. You know why? Because people want Golgari cards.
I like Golgari cards. I enjoy the Golgari guild. I like them.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Smart of you.
Well,
Smart.
They have green and black, so like I think that's where we meet. Like I think you're like more Orsov, right? And I'm like blue green, but I can get some Golgari.
No, I'm definitely, as far as like my your magic
guild.
color combination or
no,
like
your
actual
guild, no,
personality.
Your Ravnica guild.
Yeah, I know Ravnica guild. Are you saying like my personality or my like magic playing personality?
Oh, your magic playing personality.
Is Golgari for sure.
Oh,
I play white. I play white the least of every color by a significant margin.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Golgari by a lot. It's Golgari and then Dimir. Dimir's pretty close.
Yeah, I think mine is I don't know. I've gone back and forth a lot. Like it used to be like Dimir / Azorius.
Yours is definitely
now it's like
Simic now.
Now it's like very far green based.
Very Simic. Yeah,
like,
I mean we can agree. Ollie, I think where we can come to this in agreement is the 3 best colors in Magic are blue, black.
Sultai. Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
We can agree on that.
Yeah, Sultai is the best.
Yep. And then red, and then white if you're forced to play it. If it's associated with another color, it's like attached to like black.
Yes, white is an excellent support color. It's like the best support color.
Yeah, you're doing great, white. You know, you're there.
Just keep doing what you're doing.
You're such great support.
Yeah,
you're like a really good friend to the opposite sex that I never want to date, but I'm glad you're around.
Yeah, I don't want you. Yeah, exactly. You're a good friend. You're in the friend zone.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah.
So, I guess we'll. I was going to go into bolus, but I think we should save that for the next segment.
Right.
So there's other. I guess there's other things that's kind of that were around this announcement that weren't necessarily part of the announcement day, but still kind of around it. And that is Battle Bond, which we are finding out a lot more about specifically this week, and then Global Serious, Jiang Yanggu and Mu Yanling. Which one do you want to go first?
Jiang Yanggu.
Okay, the Global Series?
Yep.
All right, so they announced on Friday that these are Planeswalker decks that are going to be standard legal.
Yes.
In China.
Yes.
And not anywhere else.
Yes.
How do you feel about this?
Whatever.
Don't care?
Nope.
Yeah. I mean,
as long as they're not like tier 1, which they're not, otherwise it'd be kind of weird to like test them. Oh, this looks really good, insane with, this Planeswalker. Let me take it to Pro Tour. Oh wait, I can't.
Yeah. Unless the Pro Tour's in China.
It's true.
Then you can. Are you you're not interested in Mu Yanling? Surprising.
Why?
It's a Planeswalker that because it's ultimate. It takes an extra turn.
I'm not interested in either of them because I can't play with them.
Good answer.
Like,
Good answer.
I mean, like, they're cool cards, but I literally can't play with them. It's like saying, it's that tease. She's like, I'm so fancy, and I'm like, and she like sends you a text. She's like, yo, you're cute, and they're like, oh wow, you want to go out to eat sometime? No, never with you, but.
Only in China.
Only in China.
Come to China.
Yeah, only in China.
I'll be in China. You come
only
over to China. We'll go on a date.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, only in China.
I'm gonna go to China. Yeah.
They're like, okay, well, will you come back with me to America? Nope, you have to stay in China for your life.
In China.
All right. Well, I'm sorry. I don't.
By the way, once September hits, you won't even be able to take me. You won't even be able to take me into any modern restaurants either.
That's awful. Modern restaurants are pretty great.
They are. Most new cards like to go to modern restaurants, but these will not.
These will not. No, these are like weird. They're weird.
So I like ultimately, I don't care. Like it's just.
I don't care either. But
whatever.
I don't care like on multiple aspects. I don't care that they exist. I also don't care about them because there's no point to care about them.
Yeah, they've kind of made sure that you don't care about them.
Exactly. Yeah, like whatever.
Weird. I think it's dumb that they're only in China. Like, why would you not just do it worldwide? Like, I really don't get it. Because I think it's more confusing than anything. Because it really, if you're not someone that listens to this podcast, which is the only way you would get Magic information, how would you know these are only legal in China? Sure, you could read the article. But if you're someone who just, you're going to wander in your LGS when these come out, and you're like, oh, these Planeswalkers look fun, and I would like to play this at FNM. You buy them. You make a sweet deck around the blue one, which is, a big 6-drop Planeswalker that has a -10 ultimate. Then you play around one, and you play against the guy that talks about how many PTQ top 16s he's had. And then he's like,
PPTQs.
PPTQs. You're like, you're not in China. You can't play this card, Judge. And that's going to be a pretty feel-bad moment. Like, it's not... I think that situation is pretty likely to happen. Exactly how I described it.
I mean, I think pound for pound is exactly like you described it. The
I
voice,
think so.
everything. PPTQ top 16s.
You could probably... Yeah, PPTQ top 16s. I missed on breakers.
Barely.
But I was definitely going to win.
Yeah.
You all know the guy.
Yeah.
He traded for the game day champion map.
Oh yeah, and then he has pins. If those still exist.
Well, he doesn't have any pins.
He makes them up. He buys them from eBay.
He traded for pins.
Or bought.
He traded for the mat and he traded for the pins.
Man,
he's using the he still used KMCs after they changed the formula and they got really bad because he's like, these are the purest sleeves. Anyway, which ironically, those sleeves are made in China. Just like these decks. Coming full circle. Okay,
right.
so
whatever, please.
Battle Bond. Now,
yes.
A lot of you want to hear our opinions on Battle Bond, and we're going to talk about it some here, but I want to let everyone know. Episode 27, we have carved out a entire segment for Battle
57.
Bond.
Not 27.
47.
Yeah, sorry, 47. No, not 27.
I don't know.
47.
I don't know what either of us said, but it's
you said
47.
20. I said 50.
It's 47.
Yeah.
Episode 47. Episode 47. That episode is going to be releasing on Battle Bond release day, which I believe is the 8th of June. So we're going to be talking more Battle Bond then. The full spoiler is not quite out, so we're just going to be kind of giving our thoughts today. I think this set looks fantastic.
Yeah, I think.
Oh, that's the poo-poo voice. He
like
hesitated. He hesitated. Now
I'm more
he's
thinking
swirling
about
around in his chair.
Well, I'm thinking about more about the lore, where people are like, "Oh, there's a planeswalkers and they're brother and sister, and they're blonde, and they're twins, and they're both planeswalkers." What are the odds of that? And honestly,
almost impossible.
But is it?
Maybe we just don't know enough.
Well, exactly. It's like given. All right, if you actually think about it this way, giving an infinite number of multiverses, what are the odds that somewhere in the multiverse there are twins that are both planeswalkers?
I mean, given an infinite number, it's 100%, right?
Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, I think the odds are actually astronomically high that these exist somewhere, and so like that's how I see it.
Okay.
So
You know what? You're right. I agree with you.
Thank you. Because there's.
Go ahead.
I'll say, guys, heavens knows how many planes there actually are, and giving an infinite number or a very, very, very vast number, the odds of having at least one
brother and sister
that are twins, they're also both dual planes, also planeswalkers, is actually high. Like on one plane, it's low, but giving like an almost infinite possibility of planes, it's actually really high.
Now, for that to happen on a plane where there's a coliseum where people battle in pairs,
yeah,
that's pretty high. That's a pretty low chance.
It's pretty low.
But
yeah.
You know what?
By the grand scheme of things,
I'm willing to suspend my disbelief.
So Battle Bond, do people travel to Battle Bond to fight in the Coliseum? Like, are we sure the twins are from Battle Bond, or are they from like on a different plane?
We don't know. They're planeswalkers. They could be from anywhere.
Oh, exactly. So they could be from like Amonkhet or wherever.
That's true. They could be from anywhere. And keep in mind too, given that, and I kind of like having these stories on stories. I mean, this is really a loose story because it's just a random set.
Yeah. It's basically
supplementary set.
Yeah.
But a lot like Conspiracy.
Yes.
Where Fiora is a plane that you don't, even though there are planeswalkers on that plane, we don't really see any major characters visit, because chances are none of the major characters even know this plane, or Kylum is the plane that I believe Battle Bond is on. They don't really know these exist, so they're not going to go there.
Right.
There's not turmoil there, so there's not anything that's like bringing them there. So.
Well, thankfully Garrick doesn't know about Battle Bond.
Oh, hey. Don't
speak of him. Okay.
Don't speak of him.
I think Battle Bond will be. I think it's cool that like we have a plane where people can go, people go and compete. Like really compete. It's like it's a plane actually. I'd love to go to see the battle between, Ugin and Soren Markov. Or
I think the stakes are way lower than that.
Well, whatever. Right, but I'm saying like it'd be cool to have a plane where people go. Not to kill each other, but they're battling for money. Like just until someone like tags out. Like it would just be cool to see like Lilia or Jace versus Gideon. Like I think it'd be cool to see him fight for money or whatever, or for whatever. Not to the death, but like just like basically like a coliseum or a arena or whatever where people go compete for like prizes.
Yeah, which is essentially what this is.
Right. Exactly. And I think it'd be cool to see like people do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe. I'm more thinking like I'm kind of looking at this set and not really looking at it from a lore perspective. I'm looking at it from a card perspective. So
yeah. From a card perspective, it's insane.
I think the set is fantastic.
Yeah.
The amount of reprints good reprints in this set is surprisingly high.
Yeah.
It's not that there's like an outrageous number of reprints, but it seems like all of the ones they chose are good cards, at least desirable cards for Commander, and in some cases other formats. So,
I just want to say one card. Just one card. Have you seen?
Yeah, go ahead.
Have you seen Arena Rector?
Yes, I did see Arena Rector. That was Star City Games preview card.
I don't know that. I just not saw that card. That card's sweet, to say the least.
It's an awesome card.
God, can you imagine that card was legal in Modern? How sweet it would be?
It'd be real messed up.
Would it be?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, for sure. I mean, it's a pretty messed up card, right?
I mean, it gets Ugin, right? It gets like Ugin. Is that too broken for 4 mana? That you have to kill it?
Yeah, probably.
I mean, Tron does that. How's it? I think it's fine.
You're right. It's probably fine.
Yeah, I think. Speaking of this, I wish a lot of these cards were legal in Modern.
Yeah, like, no, it's like none of them are really that good. I mean,
well, not too good for
not good enough. Yeah, you're right. It's probably fine.
Exactly. Like I wish all these cards so far that
it's too good. I think that's too powerful for Standard.
I agree with that.
Yeah, Modern's probably fine.
I think Modern's fine. Well, also this has Mystic Confluence, which is a sweet card. That card would be too powerful for Standard, but I think a lot of these cards were.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So basically, what I'm getting at is, I wish these conspiracy battle bond sets, whatever, were
modern legal.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like they can. That's just a flip of a switch they can just make.
Yeah.
Because they just decided they're like, okay, these sets they're legal in Legacy and Vintage, and they're just like, okay, they're legal in Legacy and Vintage. They've just decided that. It's not like there's any rule. And then they've also decided like, okay, well, it's not legal in Modern. It's not legal in Standard either, and Standard makes sense because Standard is a rotating format.
Yeah.
But Modern, Vintage, Legacy, they're non-rotating formats.
Exactly.
They could literally just say, like, you know what? This is legal in Modern. And then once they did that, you open the floodgates, and you can print cards for Modern specifically without having to pass them through Standard. And it's just do that. They could just do that.
Yeah.
And they just decided not to. I don't know that that's right or wrong, and I'm not saying that I'm arguing for or against one side. I'm just saying this is a possibility they've simply chosen to ignore because I really haven't seen them address it. Anyway.
All right. One more thing about before we move on. Last thing.
Okay, I have one more thing too. I want to talk about my favorite card.
Me too.
Okay, you go first, then I'll go.
Okay, I'll go first.
Yep.
My last one from flavor and just like card itself is Last One Standing.
It's a good one. Hey, that's gonna roll around with mine too.
Last One Standing. it's a 1 black and red. It's basically like Brawl from Hearthstone. Hearthstone.
It is exactly Brawl.
Yeah. So it costs 3 sorcery. It says choose a creature at random, then destroy the rest. So already I'm like, okay, 3 mana of like Wrath, kind of cool. I like that.
Yeah, it's pretty reasonable.
But then the best part is 100% the flavor text.
Yeah.
It says some train all their lives for a shot at the title. Some just get really, really lucky. And that's magic to a T. That is literally magic to a T. It's like some train all their lives to win the Pro Tour, go to the Pro Tour. Some go to the Pro Tour and just win, and it's like, awesome. Like it's beautiful. Yeah.
Okay. That I think that card is great too.
Yeah.
It's also appropriately costed. Like it would cost anything more than that is just too much.
Yeah.
Okay. So you noticed the little goblin on that, right?
Yes.
With the big ears.
Yeah.
All right. My favorite card is Thrilling Encore, and this is one of my favorite cards that I've seen printed in a really long time.
Okay.
It's 4 and a black. It's an instant, and it says put onto the battlefield under your control all creature cards in all graveyards that were put there from the battlefield this turn. So every creature that has died this turn from anywhere, you put them back into play under your control. This card is completely insane. The flavor text says, "Welcome to the winning team," and it shows the goblin that won the brawl.
Yes.
Walking into the arena with a guy that lost it.
That's hilarious.
And it's the little goblin with the big ears saying that to the other guy because he won the battle,
And then maybe he's casting Thrilling Encore. Who knows?
Yeah, he won. He was the last one standing, and he's casting Thrilling Encore and bringing this other guy back, and it's just great. The card is great, the art is great, the flavor text is fantastic. This is just hands down my favorite card. I think it's awesome. This card's also completely nuts in Commander. I think it's insane in Commander.
Do you know why I really like this card? Because it's one of the first black cards that's like not about death or killing or reanimation or whatever.
I disagree.
The card, well, no, seriously, the card itself is about that, but the art and the name of it is like actually like uplifting. Sure. It's like Thrilling Encore. Like you don't expect to read a black card. Like if I tell you, hey, there's a card called Thrilling Encore, you think red or maybe white.
Red for sure. Yeah,
but this is like one of the first cards that's like uplifting and positive wording or lore or flavor.
Yeah.
And that's cool. It's literally showing, like you said, a goblin winning the arena or won the arena or the battle. And I think it's cool.
Somebody that lost. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's cool.
And so one thing I like about this set and one thing I don't. I'm not a fan of most of the art. I just don't like I'm not a fan of like the super cartoony style. It's fine. Like I'm not mad that it exists.
Yeah.
But I do like that this is just like. I like that we're on a plane that's like no stakes, like no one's dying, right?
Yeah.
It's just people fighting for fun.
Yeah.
And then like, that's it.
Yeah.
It's like there doesn't have to be like the grand implications, and I think that's fun. I think it's fun every once in a while.
I agree. I think it's great for like it's almost like anime type style where like people like go and fight. Like it makes me think of like for people that watch anime or whatever, like Dragon Ball Z or Yu Yu Hakusho or whatever, like that type of thing where people go and like the best of the best go and fight, and it's just always cool to watch that. So
yeah, it's cool to have that magic. I'm glad we have this set. I'm glad the set exists.
Me too. One thing I don't understand is the art for doubling season. It's just kind of weird, but
it's the entrance to the arena.
I know, but I don't understand why it's doubling season.
Maybe normally the arena is for 1v1 combat, but right now it's 2v2 combat.
Double.
Doubling, and it's the season. It's the season for doubles.
It's Tekken
Literally.
It's Tekken Tag Tournament.
Or Marvel vs. Capcom.
There you go. That too.
All right. Okay. Anything else about announcement day?
No, I'm done with announcement day. I'm announcing that right now.
Okay, announce it. It's been announced. All right, we're going to announce now that we're going to be moving on to one of your favorite segments every week, Magic Story, episode 11. Ollie, this is the part in the podcast where you tell me how much you hated the story. Now here we go. Here we go.
You know what? After reading today's story, I'm very excited for next week's story. Super excited.
Good.
Yeah. I'm finally excited for it to be over. So I think I'm being honest. Like I don't. There's no drive to read anymore. Like, honestly, it comes out, and now I'm just reading. I'm like, I don't even get my hopes up. There's no crescendo. There's no building of anything. It's just like very. I feel like I've been on a plateau this entire time. Like the hint of Sarah's, whatever. I'm like, maybe you're just bad. Maybe that was just bad writing. I don't know. It just seemed very like flat, very uninteresting. And it's just like very predictable. It's just like, okay, nothing like, there's no emotions being pulled, the same thing over again. At this point, I know what I'm reading. Okay, I know it's coming out. I know it's happening. I know the ending. I know we're going to Ravnica. Like, whatever. I'm ready for it to be done. And I pray to Crewfix that Ravnica set, the writing is not like this. That's all I gotta say.
I feel like it doesn't matter if the story is good or bad. You're just automatically on the I don't like this.
It's not true.
I don't know. I think you're so far gone on these 12 episodes of Magic story that it doesn't like it. You're just like going through the motions and reading it, and it doesn't necessarily matter like what is in the story.
No,
I don't think the story was that bad. I thought I liked it. I enjoyed reading it.
I did not. So
I'll stop
being negative Nancy. I'll just let it go.
No, what do you want? What do you want? What do you want from this story, man?
I want action. I want to feel for a character. I want to feel for like something like nothing happened. Like,
but even in the ones that have had action, you've poo-pooed those as well.
Because the action wasn't really action. It was like there's.
What does that mean? The action wasn't really action.
Okay, for the one where Karn is getting the Silex or whatever, the weapon for Phryxia, yes. Right? He's literally just digging, and it's like the action is, guys, there's plants attacking us. We'll keep them at bay with fire, and now Teferi will come and rescue the day by putting a time bubble, and we'll get the Silex out. Like, there's a bunch of description and everything on like everything else, but when it comes to the action part, it's like it's very bland. It's not like, you know, it doesn't explain the fight scenes where like someone barely gets out alive or like. Well,
that's because that's not what's happening in the story.
No, but with the ants or the trees versus Chandra, like I would like a little more detail on that. Like how'd you conjure, like before they explained how planeswalkers use their powers. Like Chandra would like use her emotions or energy around her to, you know, cast her spell. Like that isn't happening. It's literally like fireball. Where to go? Maybe the tree's chest or around it. I'm not really sure. Karn's punching them, and there's splinters flying around. All right, that's it. Like
you liked Ixalan's story, right?
I did. Yes, Ixalan was exceptionally good at pulling your heartstrings.
Yeah, there's very little action. That was a very action-light story.
This doesn't have either. It doesn't have action or emotions. Do you feel connected to any character? Honestly, like, be honest. Like, is there a character like Liliana? Yeah. Liliana's the only one.
Yeah, I like Lily. I like all of the Gatewatch, all of the 3 Gatewatch that are on this plane. I'm specifically interested in their stories. No,
the only person I'm interested in is Teferi. That's the only one like I'm mildly interested in because his story was like, this guy's like a good guy, like, and he was.
Yeah, see, I disagree. I actually liked this story. I think the plan they put together, and I actually think this was one of the better stories because they executed.
Right. Well, since you like it, I think you should break it down because I think you'll be able to tell it better than I will because I'll be very like nonchalant about it.
Okay, so the Weatherlight is heading to the Cabal stronghold, and they're going over Urborg, and they're putting a plan together to try to infiltrate the Cabal stronghold to secure the Black Blade, to strike down Belzenlock, to unlock Liliana's. What is the term I'm looking for? Her deal with the demons.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
To make it done.
Yeah.
So they put a plan together that Chandra is going to dress up as a member of the Cabal. Gideon's going to dress up as her prisoner, and they're gonna kind of break in. Now they need to get some information, so they talk to some of the people on Urborg, some of the remaining the Panther warrior race. Sorry, I'm gonna take a sip of water.
Yeah.
To figure out how to do that, they agree to help Gideon and Chandra go in. Liliana, her part of the plan is to raise a massive amount of dead on Urborg, where trillions of lives have been lost, and then use that to kind of fight off all of the Cabal that are not the upper members, like Belzenlock, and then they would beat Belzenlock on their own. So they start doing this. They go in, they infiltrate the stronghold. Belzenlock is in there. In the meantime, Liliana is raising all of these dead warriors to come up, and then none other than Yargle makes his presence known. Who you definitely did not see Yargle coming.
I did not. No.
There's no one could have seen Yargle coming. No one ever does.
No.
And then lunges himself at the Weatherlight as Chandra is forced to push her prisoner, Gideon, into the Cabal pit to fight for his life or death. And that's when the story ends.
On another cliffhanger.
Yes. Ollie, this is common in all forms of writing and media. There's cliffhangers.
Especially here.
Not especially here. It's
mono
just
cliffhanger.
No more than any other story. No more than any other story. Anything else that we watch or read, it's all it's all cliffhangers. That's how it works. That's how it works. You love Game of Thrones? That is literally the cliffhangeriest show ever.
That's good.
You've been cliffhanging for 10 years on that show. We talk about Westworld. Westworld has cliffhangers in the episodes they don't resolve for like 7 episodes.
Well, sometimes you don't even know the cliffhangers.
You really don't.
So
I liked the story. I think that the imagery they put together to describe Urborg and its history, Urborg's history, I thought that was very nice. They reference Phyrexians a lot and their impact on the area. A lot of structures that have been damaged, and they described how people go to one of the old Phyrexian structures to worship at it, to remember not to worship the Phyrexians, but to remember all of the horrors that their lineage has gone through over the years.
And Belzenlong is like wiping that out.
Yes, everyone hates the Cabal. I like
even the ghosts and spirits hate the Cabal.
Joyra was like, "Don't worry, nobody likes the Cabal, even the spirits."
That's crazy, yeah.
But there's also some finer points of the story, and there are like important plot points. They ask Teferi if he's interested in helping the Gatewatch, and he's like, not only does he say yes, he's like, that was part of the plan when I took my spark back, is I know I'm gonna have to go fight Bolus.
Eventually, anyways.
I've also fought him. I got my butt beat real bad.
Yeah.
So they ask Karn the same thing. Karn's like, I'll think about it, but I got this other thing I need to do with the Phyrexians. And then Teferi says the most damning line in the entire story. When they're talking about the Phyrexians that are on New Phyrexia, Teferi says, well, the Phyrexians are trapped there. So you should have plenty of time.
You can go there anytime. Like, they're literally trapped there. You can go today, you can go 20 years from now, 100 years from now.
It'll be totally fine. They're not going anywhere.
Not a big deal.
So, all that did to me was confirm they're definitely going to be going somewhere.
They're gonna spread.
Where? I do not know, but they're not staying where they are. Thanks, Teferi. You just confirmed it.
Congratulations.
So, I liked the little Chandra and Gideon interaction. I really liked how all three of the Gatewatch. Gideon talking to Chandra about Liliana, talking about how she's changed when he knows because he's been around her, and Gideon actually likes Liliana even though she's mean to him, but he understands why.
Yeah.
And I'm actually excited, legitimately excited for the next story, because this is like shades of Apocalypse when like Gerard and Urza were fighting in the Phyrexian arena, and now it's not the Phyrexian arena, it's going to be in the Cabal arena.
Or pit, whatever. Yeah, same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting. Obviously, we know Gideon's going to get out and get the Black Blade. Somehow.
Yeah.
Thus starting his corruption that you and I believe is certainly going to happen.
Yes, absolutely.
I also liked when the spirits were like talking.
The Naki spirits? And the chain
No.
Regular spirits?
No.
Okay.
No, the spirits that were in Urborg.
Okay.
And Joyra and Liliana were talking, and they're like, how do they know how to beat him when they're talking about Yargle? And then Jorah was like, actually, that's why they're all dead. Yargle killed all of them.
Yeah. Yargle was like a person that got turned into a maggot. They both like turned into a maggot. That a frog ate the maggot and then became Yargle.
Yep, grew and grew, and is now a mass murder machine frog spirit.
Yes. Kind of crazy, kind of funny.
I don't.
So big, in fact, that he's like basically Ulamog. He has reach.
Just picks up and he's like,
I'm saying
him in his mouth like a little treat, like a little tasty treat.
Well, he's given the Wither Light a problem, so obviously he's like huge and has like reach essentially.
Yeah, he's massive.
Yeah, he's massive. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
massive. He's apparently pretty quick. I don't know. I'm interested to see how. I think this was a good setup story for what is. I would imagine that the next story is going to satiate your hunger for action.
I hope so. I mean, it's the last one. It's the last chance. So I mean, it has to. So much has to happen.
A lot has to happen, but I think it's going to be action packed next week.
I mean, it has to be getting us to the Black Blade. The Black Blade. They have to fight Belzenlock. Then Bolus has to come and like yo, I got you. You defaulted on your payment to the demons. You're not mine. So like, yeah, a lot has to happen. A lot has to happen.
And it will, of course, but. I mean, look, I'm not trying to defend the entirety of this narrative arc, okay? All 12 of these episodes together. I'm also disappointed. I'm just trying to look at each of these episodes in isolation. There's some that I've liked and then some that I haven't.
Yeah.
And I think that's okay. It's okay to be in a spot where we're kind of saying this might not be our favorite, but it's not the worst. Like there's still good parts in it, right? It doesn't have to be disappointing at every single turn. Like, we're covering a lot of plot. Teferi is essentially going to be joining the Gatewatch because he hasn't done that yet, right?
But he basically, yeah, he hinted at it, yeah.
He did it. He did and he didn't. He said he was going to go with them to fight Nicol Bolas, and of course they don't really. Well, Jace came in and like Ravnica. We're gonna go to Ravnica. Sorry, that wasn't my Jace voice. The Jace voice is a different voice. Anyway, but we know that Teferi's gonna go. Karn is not. I don't think Karn's gonna go.
Me either. Otherwise, one, it would have been spoiled with Karn. I mean, they spoiled everything else. They would have spoiled that. Two, I think Karn's gonna do something else. We'll see.
Something stupid, yeah. I don't know what. It's going to be stupid, and it's going to be bad. And
I thought Karn was going to be an interesting episode. I never see his backstory, and he seems like just a robot. It's just like...
Well, there's a reason for that.
Okay, sure, but I'm saying, like, it feels like...
It's because he is.
But it feels like, like... I was excited to meet Karn. Like, after reading Karn... In the books, I read the Thran, the Brothers' War, all that stuff, and it's just like
I think Karn just hasn't been given his time to shine yet. I think it's coming; it just hasn't happened yet.
All right,
like just because it's not going to happen in this narrative arc doesn't mean that we're not going to get where like the Karn story from when we last saw him on New Phyrexia to now. Like I think that's going to it has to happen inevitably, and we'll get it sometime. It's just not today, or tomorrow, or next week.
Yeah, one day.
One day. Okay, I think we're going to have a lot more to say next week because obviously that's the climax of this story. And, Ollie will be more positive now that we're finishing it up so he doesn't have to talk about it anymore.
Yep, hallelujah.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, we're going to be moving on to our next segment, which, as we said last week, we're going to be discussing the new action comedy superhero movie, Deadpool 2. So Deadpool. The second one.
Number 2.
To clarify. Yeah, number 2. this was the most popular movie in the United States last week, which finally knocked Infinity War off of its unbeatable throne. The question is, how much did you actually like it? We're not in spoilers right now, so we'll get to spoilers in a second, but how much did you actually like it?
I mean, I liked it a lot. I like the Deadpool series. I like what it is. I'm going in. I know what to expect. I know it's comedy. I know it's like rated R. I know it's like there's gonna be some gore, or it's graphic. It's like it's the real deal, and it's Deadpool, so there's gonna be like some humor and like hardness throughout the movie, and you also know that Deadpool is like, he's not a villain. He means well most of the time. It's like
he's an anti-hero.
Yeah, you know what to expect, but it's always good. Like it's good. It's also presented well. What I expected happened. Kind of. I liked it. I actually forgot about who Deadpool teamed up with in this movie. It was in the trailers. Obviously, if you watch the trailers, you should know.
Of course.
Is that a spoiler? Can I say that or no?
Yeah, you could say that.
Okay, so Deadpool, it's Deadpool and Cable.
Wait, what? I'm just kidding. You could say that.
Yeah, I forgot about Cable until we see him. And it was interesting because I'm not usually a huge fan of time travel and in general, honestly, I hate time travel because I feel like it messes up the story. But this one was with time it was okay.
Okay.
I think it's hard to get time right. I think it's almost impossible to get time right. Jumanji was the only one that I think that did it reasonably.
So we'll talk more about time travel because that's more of a spoiler than.
Well, Cable, that's what he does, but yeah.
Well, yeah, but maybe not everyone knew that, but that's okay.
Okay. All right. Sorry.
I think a lot of people probably are seeing this character for the first time in a film, but that's fine. He is that is what his character does. Either way, I definitely agree that if you're someone that watched the first Deadpool movie, or even if you heard about it and you're like, I want to watch this, you get exactly what you're expecting. You're gonna get a bunch of lewd jokes, you're gonna get some violent action, and you're gonna get a lot of pop culture references.
Yes.
Throughout the movie. And it delivers on every single one of those axes because that is what it set up in the first Deadpool movie, and that's exactly what you're going to get in this one. Ollie, before we go into spoilers, where do you rank this? This is wifey tier, meatloaf tier, or poo-poo tier?
I'd say wifey tier.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think it's wifey tier as far as our last movies, The Avengers 2 and I'm so bad at remembering this one. The one with A
Quiet Place?
A Quiet Place, and the other one with the alien one, where there's a barrier, and it's you can watch
Annihilation?
Yeah, sorry, I apologize. Yeah, those three are some of my favorite for this year.
Yeah, those are all, I agree
amazing.
That those are all much better than this one.
Yeah, but this one is still, I think, up there. Just because it introduced one of my favorite characters, or favorite character in a while. I won't get into that, maybe get a spoiler, I don't know if spoiler or not, but...
No, you can say Dopinder. He was in the first one.
Yeah. No, it wasn't him, but yeah.
Okay. I am going to surprisingly...
Say Meatloaf?
I'm going to go with Meatloaf tier.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was coming.
Only because, it was... I'll put it this way. It wasn't a waste of my time or my money.
Yeah.
But it's just... I don't know.
It is what it is. It is what
it is what it is, and I'll probably never watch it again, and I'll be okay with that.
Yeah, I can't judge based on that. The reason I gave it a bump up is because it literally introduced a character that I really like, and
and I mean that matters. That does make a difference.
Yeah, and the way it was presented was
well
good.
done.
Yeah,
yep.
So we'll get it later, but yeah.
Yeah, why don't we go ahead and jump into spoilers? So this is everyone's spoiler warning for Deadpool 2. You do the air horn? Spoiler warning. Spoiler warning. Spoiler warning. Okay. We are now officially in spoilers. So Ollie, you can let
Domino.
Domino's great.
I loved her. She's such an amazing character. her superpower is kind of like gimmicky almost, but it's like it's awesome. Like so many people like wish like man, okay, if you get or when the question's asked, if you can have any power, what would it be? Like okay, I want Wolverine's power. I want Xavier's power, or I want super strength like Juggernaut or whatever. Yeah. But man, Domino has an awesome power. It's like very subtle. Yeah. It's not obvious, but it's really darn good. Like
and
it's,
the my favorite part is Deadpool addressed that. He's like luck isn't a superpower. She's like yes.
Yeah, it is. Yes. That was like the best part where they're arguing and they're like yeah, luck is a superpower. She's like yeah, it is. No, it's not.
Just yeah, it is. Just watch.
It's not. It is. And then finally he's like, okay, you're on the team. She's like, all right. Like she knew it. Like she knew she was on anyways. But the character that portrayed Domino is also great.
Yes.
And sure. just her character throughout the movie was fantastic because obviously they gathered for the X-Force and like everyone like gets destroyed. And he's like he just assumes she's dead too, and it's just like, yo, I'm in. It's like, what?
Yeah.
What?
I enjoyed it because obviously, as I've said before, like specifically, like I read Marvel comics growing up, and the X-Men were like that was my favorite comic books, and by extension, like X-Force is kind of in the same, part of the universe as X-Men. So Domino is actually like on X-Force. And some of those other characters are not really like notable X-Force characters ever. They're just characters. Now, obviously, they were just like primarily comic relief, which a lot of characters are in this film. But it was fun. Domino. That was a good example of. I think this is a movie that has a lot of great scenes and a lot of bad scenes, and it's worth going to see for the good scenes because they're really good. The good scenes are great, and then the bad scenes are usually when they're trying to make jokes and they just don't land. And I think that this movie, like a lot of people are like, this is better than the first Deadpool. I don't think it is. I enjoyed the first Deadpool a lot more because I think a lot more of the jokes landed, and I enjoyed the action more in that one than this one. But
yeah, this one was a lot more comedic than the previous one. I think
it certainly tried to be.
Yeah. Well, okay. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. The first one, I agree. I think the first one's better. This one was just a lot more. The comedy was forced almost. It felt forced.
Yeah. I agree that the comedy was forced.
Yeah.
And that's part of it because like Deadpool the character makes jokes, and some of the jokes aren't meant to be funny, but it's for the fact that he's making them.
Yeah.
Like it's for the sake of making a joke, and you're kind of laughing at the character, but not laughing at the joke, if that makes sense. You're like, oh, what a silly fellow.
I like, yeah.
He's got little baby legs, and he's walking with them.
That was kind of funny, but yeah.
See, I didn't laugh at all. Like I just did not like that one. Just did not land for me.
I thought it was hilarious, except the whole part who's like just like flashing them. Like that was like, okay, that's a little bit much. But I did love the whole like.
Well, I mean, it's Basic Instinct.
Sure, but I love the fact that like he had tiny baby legs, and he was like it was like half baby, half man. That's kind of funny.
Yeah,
I thought it was funny, or humorous at least.
So the things that I liked, the thing that made me almost sad regarding this movie is my favorite movie last year was Logan.
Okay.
And I know, and that was the first portrayal of the X-Men universe. Well, that's not true. Deadpool was the first portrayal of the X-Men universe in like an R-rated movie, but it was kind of set aside from everything else. This movie is less so because there's a lot more characters and it interacts kind of with the rest of the universe.
Right.
But Logan was not a comedy, and it was set in a real world setting, and there's a lot of parts in this that like non-comedy parts where you see this universe set in like a real world, like really harsh reality setting.
Yeah.
And I think like the X-Men specifically, because they are a lot more raw and gritty comparatively to like the Avengers, I think they thrive so much in that setting that like it makes me just want to see like a full-fledged like rated R X-Men movie. Like it doesn't need to be overly violent or vulgar. I just want it to be realistic. And, if it comes with an R rating with that, then that's totally fine. But like that's like the movie that I'm like yearning for, and I feel like I'm never gonna get. Logan's probably the closest thing, but like the part when we first meet Russell, and Colossus, Deadpool, and Negasonic Teenage Warhead are called to go basically calm him down because he's escaped from the Essex house, which is a nice little name. Nathaniel Essex is Mr. Sinister. Anyway, and he's like mad, and he's got his like fists up, and he's like cursing at the police officers because they're like trying to take him, and he's just like, I'll kill you, and he's obviously, you know, using like language, and it's like it felt without comedy like, man, this looks like this is how this would happen in real life.
Yeah.
In this scenario. And they live in a world where obviously mutants are still persecuted because they have this icebox where they're literally just putting mutant criminals.
Yeah.
Deadpool, of course, references that. They're like the X-Men, which is just a veiled reference to racism in the 60s. Which, yeah, it was, but it's still, like, we're seeing this in a real-world scenario, and it still holds up. Like, it still makes sense.
Yeah.
And that was like those moments when it was not comedy based, when it was like this is like real world and real world stakes. Those are my favorite moments in this movie, which is why it was like I wanted to see more of that and less of the Deadpool meta commentary joking. Even though, again, I knew what I was getting into.
Yeah,
I fully knew what I was getting into.
Yeah, that's what it was. But I mean.
And
it was different because, like...
I guess I'll get to it when we get to the other character. Go ahead.
I would say, like if you guys remember from Thor... When I talked about Thor, like, I went in and it was, like... The comedy was, like, a little too much for me. Here it wasn't because I knew I was getting into. Like,
yeah, and I think that's a fair... I think that's a fair comparison.
Yeah. So, but... I think the X-Force was, like, the other characters that just died off was a bit much. Like, it was just, like... Like, like... The time to gather them up, and then them all just like dying within like 5 minutes or 10 minutes, whatever. It was just like, okay, like come on, like why? Like I don't know, why? I didn't find it very funny, but personally, I don't really find death funny. Like they all died in quote unquote funny ways, but I just didn't find it humorous, I guess.
I'm looking this up now because. I thought, yes, this is correct. I thought, so the Vanisher character?
Yeah.
Because, you know, he gets electrocuted and you see him for a second.
Yeah.
I was like, is that Brad Pitt? And it is.
Okay.
It's actually Brad Pitt for like 2 seconds,
that's funny.
Which is pretty awesome. Like, I just looked it up, and I looked for it in the credits and I didn't see it.
Okay.
But I looked it up. And I was like, it is Brad Pitt for like 1 second. Okay. Anyway,
I also remember the acid spit guy. The guy that throw up acid, whatever.
Yeah.
He played in a vampire type deal movie, Vampire Werewolf. I knew him from Netflix. I can't remember the show's name. Sorry.
Hemlock Grove.
Yes.
He also plays It.
It?
Yes.
Okay.
Bill Skarsgård.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yep. He plays Pennywise.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep.
Oh, well, anyways, yeah, that's his character. He's pretty good. Died.
All of 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and the X-Force, obviously, like, when he did that, you know, it's just a gag, because everything in this movie is an elaborate gag.
Yeah.
I really liked the use of Juggernaut. I didn't see him coming. I didn't know what it was going to be, if it was going to be like when they were talking about like the biggest guy in the icebox, if it was going to be a known character or a new character. So that was really nice.
Yeah.
And also, that's the perfect example of no comedy character, and you do it in a rated R setting, and it makes more sense. Like, he's literally this just ruthless murderer.
Oh my god!
And he rips
Yeah.
Deadpool in half.
Yeah, literally in half. Like yeah, and that's how he's always portrayed in the comics I read about him. But
Yes, exactly.
but you never see it because like you can't see it. And like you said, he literally says, "I'm gonna rip you in half," and he does. Literally rips him in half.
Yeah, which is a callback to an astonishing X-Men comic where he actually rips Wolverine in half.
In half, yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
The
There's also somebody that also like destroys Wolverine's claws. I don't think it's Juggernaut, but someone like actually just breaks Wolverine's claws. Anyway, I'm getting off tangent a little bit, but
you're way getting off tangent.
Yeah.
What you're talking about is Magneto. He pulls all the adamantium out of Wolverine, including his claws.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, oh my gosh! Now I'm trying to think of that arc. I can't think of it. I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head. Anyway,
I was gonna say. So, Domino's power.
Yes.
Obviously, it's not immortal like Wolverine or basically like a generation. But how close to it is it to that? Do you think?
Okay, Domino?
Yeah.
Or you mean like power level wise?
No, I mean like, how hard do you think it is to kill Domino compared to like
pretty hard.
Like
so there's another character that's power is also luck, but it's even more extreme than Domino.
Oh, really?
And ironically, okay, so Shatterstar, which is one of the like X-Force characters that dies.
Yeah.
The guy that was the douchebag.
Yeah.
He's when they ask him where he's from Mojo World, which is really awesome because Mojo World is a place where this other character is from called Longshot. And Longshot is another character that has where his superpower is also luck, but it's like basically. So last week we talked about Westworld, like some of the hosts being like maxed out on their stats.
Yeah.
Longshot has luck up to 100. So he's basically impossible to kill. And even unlike Domino, where Domino is just like kind of inherently lucky, Longshot is so lucky he regularly gets put in situations that would kill almost everyone else and he doesn't die. Like on a regular basis.
Why?
Because he's in the world that he's in Mojo World, he's like actually frequently like on like Mojo has this like game show where he basically like tries to kill contestants for TV ratings.
Right.
So Longshot frequently is like enslaved and then is put on this show and he just never dies because he's incredibly lucky.
That's crazy.
Anyway, tangent.
I'm just saying like that power is a sweet power. Like basically, I was saying like.
And Domino's like a lower level version of Longshot,
but it's still insane. Like
and she's still pretty difficult to kill because
she's lucky. Yeah. So
yeah,
I like the power. She's like with the kids saving them. She's like, man, could really use a bus. And then the fight between Juggernaut and Colossus. Juggernaut picks up a bus and throws it. Then it happens just to land right beside where Domino's like, all right, well, I guess we'll use this, kids. Let's get in the bus.
Yep.
It's just like that part. Just like, man, that's awesome. Like I wish that was my power. Like now, if I could change, if someone asked me, what power do you want?
You're going with luck.
I just want to be super lucky. Like
yeah, that's a good power. It's a good power.
Go win the lottery, meet the best, meet like the best people for you, the best like just everything is like just the luckiest and best.
And that's the thing that I like is she joined X-Force because she was bored. She's just like nothing really excites me.
Well, she's like I had a feeling I should.
I'm just gonna do this.
Yeah, like she's intuition based and like that. Like that's like me, that's like me to a T. So it's like that's awesome. Like so, I really like that. So.
Yeah, I like that. I like Domino as well. I think those characters, and obviously the one we haven't talked about yet is Cable, which we're going to get to.
Yeah.
I think Josh Brolin did a great job as Cable. It's fantastic.
Oh man, he was not comedic at all. He was very stern.
No, which is how Cable is. Cable is kind of a jerk. He doesn't really. He's not a particularly like caring person. He is kind of a man out of time, which. Obviously, in this film, he is as well.
Yeah.
And he looked great. Like, he very, very comic accurate looking Cable, which I thought was super awesome. I was really excited because I thought they were going to dive more into his backstory. There's a moment when he's like, has his shirt off and he's looking into the mirror and he's like, looking at the stuff on his neck because, he has like, basically he's like mechanical.
Yeah.
So Cable has a technovirus that basically is like slowly turning him into a machine. And I thought they were going to touch on it, and they kind of like hinted at it, but they didn't fully go in.
Yeah.
But obviously, I'm sure there's going to be another movie, and Cable, obviously, because of the end, he's going to be a part of it. So I'm sure we'll get to see more of that afterwards. But I really liked his use of guns because Cable is very tech savvy when it comes to weaponry.
It's kind of
that's one of his things.
Not only his power, but like that's kind of, when you see guns, like fancy stuff, futuristic stuff, it's like Cable. He's basically like Batman from the future.
Kinda. I mean, he has a lot of powers. He has regeneration, which the reason his body is like fighting off the technovirus so it doesn't completely overwhelm him immediately. He also has telekinesis, where he can move things with his mind, and I don't think he did that at all in this movie.
No, he didn't. He used the machine
stuff. He used stuff. Yeah, and honestly, he does that.
Power.
He does that more frequently in the comics. Like he is a lot more. He uses a lot more gadgets than he does like his actual mutant powers.
Yeah,
he kind of reserves those when he's like he has to.
Isn't there
obviously they drain him to do, which allows. Basically, you're like the more he uses his mutant abilities, he's kind of taken minutes off of his life to allow the technovirus
to take over.
Exactly. Cable really interesting character. Anyway, continue.
I agree. I was like, Cable's time travel thing.
Yes.
I know. Was it the same in the comic books here, or was it different?
It's different because it's not like it's his. He's just generally associated with time travel related stuff. So, I mean, it's different because it's not like a thing that has like charges necessarily, and it's not even his. It's just something that he has in the future because people have access to time travel,
which is weird to me. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Time. It always gets really hairy anytime you're interacting with time travel, regardless.
Yeah, that's what kind of hate at the end. The ending where the very ending where Deadpool gets a hold of it. Like, first of all, Deadpool's dying. He almost died.
Are you talking about the post-credit scene?
Before I get to that, Deadpool's dying. Cable time travels back in time where he basically saves Deadpool from dying.
Right before they have the final battle.
Right. So he gives him the coin. It gives him
his little arcade coin.
Yes, that his wife gave to him, and it saved Deadpool's life. And then the post-credit scene is where Deadpool gets like the device that's fixed, and he's able to time travel, right?
Dude, that isn't sure. I'll let you continue.
What?
I just don't. I think at the very end, when he does it, he goes back and he goes back and he like it's just a joke because he goes to like other movies and like kills characters.
Right. One of them he goes back and saves his wife, right? So she's not dead anymore.
Yeah, but whatever.
Is she dead or is she alive?
She's alive.
Yeah. Like that kind of took away like one of the biggest things. Like the whole movie is about like him losing the closest thing to him and him like overcoming that and finding a new family.
He still did.
Yes,
he still did that. He still did that.
But then he got back to the thing that like what the whole movie was about. It was like it was this pool of like I lost the closest thing to me, which is F is the family or whatever. Like that's a written word. And then like he builds to save a kid and he gets a family and that's his family. Mm-hmm. And like we got it. Him and Colossus are buddies and the kid whatever. And then it's like okay, oh by the way, you also get your wife back. And it's like it's almost like too much cheese. It's like
whatever.
Not for me. For me, it wasn't whatever. For me, it was like there's a reason why he's going through this turmoil. He like killed himself. He like tried to kill himself like seriously, and he couldn't. And he finally overcame all that. I was like, okay, now they overcame all that and overcame all that grief. Here you go, she's back.
Yeah, I don't honestly. I don't think that's a big deal to me. He still learned.
To me,
he still learned. He still learned his lesson, in my opinion. And honestly, like, this movie didn't move me at all. Like, I never like felt for any of the characters. Like, to me, it was just an action movie that had comedy in it. And I understand they tried to put some family BS in there. It's just like whatever. Don't try to sell me on this that anyone's changed. Like, I don't care if these characters have changed. I just want to see them do comic book stuff.
It was moving for me. I think the relationship, not Domino, Deadpool's relationship with his wife. I think it's because I've just been reading too much Magic story. So.
Oh God, here we go again.
This was this was very moving for me.
And I disagree completely. I could not have possibly cared less about the sad little family related story with this. But you know what? It's fun. It didn't decrease my enjoyment of the movie. Like I said, I knew what I was getting into. I got exactly that. I got to see some of the cool rated R
stuff,
X-Men related stuff, and sometimes I had to sit through some bad jokes or some forced sad time story. That's whatever. Not a big deal. I'm happy with it. Happy with my time. Still Meatloaf tier.
Yep.
That's where I'm leaving it.
I mean, mine's barely over Meatloaf, honestly. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. I told you.
You're in wifey tier.
I know. Mine's
But you're in wifey tier. You're in there.
I agree.
I'm solid middle of the road Meatloaf.
Yeah, this is the lowest wifey tier I've ever given a movie.
But
it's still wifey tier. Yeah.
Still wifey tier.
It is.
Yeah, don't turn back on that.
I'm not turning back.
You're turning back a little.
Oh my God. Okay.
I think it's time to move on.
All
right. That's the show for this week. What did I just say? The show for this week.
This guy's
the show for this week. Anyway, that is the show for this week. We're gonna take a quick break. When we return, question of the week.
Question of the week.
Let's just jump right into this question of the week because I'm excited about this one.
All right.
Ollie, you and I both think that when the Gatewatch goes to Ravnica, Bolus in the third act is going to be defeated. I'm going to put air quotes around defeated.
Yes. I think it's too many sets. It's 3 sets. It's the same Ravnica set. It's the climax of the story.
If you're not having the payoff where the heroes win, then I don't understand. Yeah. I don't want it to happen. Actually, I want Bolus to win because I'd rather just win. But we don't think it's going to happen. Anyway, that's not the question of the week. The question of the week is, after Bolus, who is the next bad?
Big bad.
As big as you want to get.
All right.
The next primary bad guy.
My vote is going to be for the Phyrexians.
Low-hanging fruit, still fruit.
It's also very big bad.
Very big bad. No question about that. No question about that.
So I'm gonna take what you said in the story and said, Teferi said, hey, they're trapped. You have all the time you want.
No doubt.
But there is a planar bridge that is attached to Tezzeret. Tezzeret's been on New Phyrexia. He's the one that observed everything.
We don't know why, but it's some nefarious reason.
I mean, the Phyrexians want to spread their religion and complete the multiverse.
They sure do.
So I think somehow the Phyrexians will probably get a hold of the planar bridge, and they will be the next big bad.
Or maybe the planar bridge is going to get given to them.
Some way, some form, they're going to get the planar bridge.
Come hell or high water, they're getting off New Phyrexia.
Yes. They will not be trapped.
Here's the thing. I agree with you. But I don't think they're the next in line.
All right.
I think it's going to be another character that we haven't seen for about the same amount of time. And that's our friend, Garrick.
Ooh.
We have not seen Garrick since July of 2014, which, of course, is the Magic 2015 core set. It came out in July 2014. When we last saw Garrick, he was hunting planeswalkers and specifically hunting Liliana. And he's been going around the multiverse, hunting planeswalkers and getting more powerful with every kill since then. He's very closely linked to the Chain Veil, which obviously this story is about. And we might even be seeing some sort of climax to that particular part of the story next week. Of course we will. We know that we will. But once that happens, what's going to happen to Garrick? I think he's still going to be hunting planeswalkers. That's not just going to go away, okay? They don't just print 7 mana planeswalkers and then you don't ever see them again. That's just not how Magic's going to work because they've clearly set Garrick up as a very powerful character. And I think that once the Gatewatch Bolus arc is done, that Garrick is going to come into focus and going to be reintroduced after could be 5 years of literally not seeing him on a Magic card or in the Magic story at all. And Garrick's going to be reintroduced. He's been put on ice for now. He's going to be reintroduced as the next bad guy that's going to take a focal point in the story.
So he's been in the ice box. He's going to bust out.
He's been in the ice box. He's the biggest guy in the ice box.
Ice box? Okay.
Yeah. It was Garrick. It's not Juggernaut. So I'm going to go with Garrick. Ollie's going with the Phyrexians. I will say, I think you're going to win this poll. I think there's almost no way that I win.
I mean, I think it's supposed to be because people like the Phyrexians and people want to be the Phyrexians.
Me too. I mean, yeah. I'm fine with either, honestly. But I just think we're getting set up for a reintroduction of Garrick as a mean planeswalker that is really bloodthirsty.
I think it's like the Phyrexians that we were first introduced to in the beginning, and then the new ones on New Phyrexia. The comparison just I don't think it's the same. Like, man, the first Phyrexian with Yawgmoth, it was like dark. It was very dark. It was like genuinely like they're crazy. And obviously the similar way in the Phyrexia, but it wasn't the same extent. It wasn't the same extent to the first Phyrexians. And if they can somehow connect like the Phyrexians from Dominaria to New Phyrexia, or something happens there, like they can do some.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty sweet.
Dark stuff. Yeah.
One of the big reasons I think it's gonna be Garrick is. Go ahead.
What if the Phyrexians make Garrick the father of machines somehow?
I don't think it's gonna happen. He's already been messed with the chain veil. In Magic's lore, name the 3 big bads.
Bolus, Phyrexians, and Emrakul, even though I don't agree with it. It's definitely Garrick.
What?
Phyrexians?
Yeah.
Bolus.
Yes.
And I think it has to be the Eldrazi.
Yeah, the Eldrazi, of course.
Yeah. But so, I personally don't believe they're big bad, but yes. The Eldrazi.
But
doesn't matter, I believe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Emrakul and the rest of the Eldrazi. They're not in the picture right now, right?
They're not in the picture.
Not in the picture right now. Bolus, we believe, is not going to be in the picture
after
shortly, right?
Yes.
It's going to leave the Phyrexians. Of course, is the logical choice. I think there has to be I don't think it's that much of a curveball, honestly. I think there has to be a planeswalker that's a bad guy that's going to take up the mantle of the bad guy planeswalker.
I mean, I don't think Uggin's that far off. He's colorless. Like I don't think
Uggin's that far off either. And obviously, we've spent a lot of time talking about Ugin. Yeah. I think that's fair, but I don't think Uggin's not bad.
That's true. He's just very.
He's very neutral. He's neutral.
To himself. He's like super neutral to himself. Yes.
Garrick's bad. Garrick is hunting planeswalkers to kill them for sport.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Mass murderer. Okay, he's just literally a serial killer. Oh, so I don't know how much worse we can get than that.
He's hunting humans. It's basically like us hunting humans. Like quote unquote the ultimate game.
That's what he's doing. Serial killer. He's a serial killer.
Yeah, he's hunting Yeah.
So you guys let us know at ThinkTwiceMTG on Twitter, at JParnell1 on Twitter, and at Ollie Eldrazi on Twitter. Is it the Phyrexians or is it Garrick that we're going to see coming down the pipeline after Bolus?
Or is it Maybelline?
Maybe. Ollie, where else can people find you?
You can find me at GathlingMagic.com. My articles come out every Friday. You can find me on twitch.tv/Ollie Eldrazi. And obviously the Twitters. The Twitterverse. That's it.
The Twitter. You can also find me on the Twitter. As I said, JParnell1 on Twitter. And you can find me every Wednesday on YouTube and StarCityGames.com and the host of the Commander Versus series. We are not going to have an episode next Wednesday because the power went out and shut down Star City Games yesterday. And we were not able to film, so...
That sucks. Sorry.
People, I tweeted that, and people thought I was joking. I was like, no, we seriously are not going to have an episode. You're not losing it. It's just getting moved to the end, but it just won't be one next week. Everybody's sad. We're sad, too. Anyway.
Also, I want to mention that you can also now find me on YouTube. I am posting all my... If I have a quick constructed run, MTG Arena, I'm posting that on YouTube. anything I play Magic-wise, I'm posting on YouTube. So if you want to like go back and watch some gameplay of like Blue-Black Mario Conjecture, some Lich's Mastery, Planeswalkers, Simic, Multani shenanigans, basically like all these brews, I'm trying to play them on Arena, in Quick Constructed, which is basically like Arena's most competitive league. Yep. And then I'm posting them on YouTube. So if you want to watch that, go there. Also, Mastermind Ramp. Basically, everything you guys have been asking me for, I'm posting videos on YouTube about it. So go watch.
It's all there.
Yeah.
And if you want to see other replays, I'm streaming on Thinktwice at twitch.tv/ThinktwiceMTG. And you can check those on our YouTube channel as well. In addition to YouTube, you can find the podcast on Stitcher, SoundCloud, and iTunes. We'd love for you to leave us a review or a comment or a subscription on one of those platforms, as we said at the top of the show. It really helps our reach, and that's something easy you guys can do where it doesn't take too much of your time or effort. You can also contact us again on Twitter, ThinktwiceMTG on Twitter, or if you want to shoot us a line directly, thinktwicemtg@gmail.com. Of course, if you want to support the show more than just leaving a review or a comment or a subscription, you can do so patreon.com/thinktwicemtg. We have several different tiers that you can support at. You get different rewards per tier. For example, the $3 tier, you get access to Parnell's Commander Journal, which you can see a plethora of Commander decks that are exclusive to the journal you can't find anywhere else. For the $5 tier, you can get access to Ollie's Brew Book, where he has all of his exclusive deck lists, and it's a bunch of them. Mostly for Standard, some for Arena Standard, which doesn't have Kaladesh. And then if Ollie's feeling froggy, maybe if he's playing in a modern tournament, he'll post that deck list in there too.
Yeah, those are coming up. Those are coming up shortly. Don't worry.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to that. And of course, even going up the tiers, you have exclusive Thinktwice tokens, exclusive Thinktwice playmats. It's a whole bunch of stuff. Even if you just want to poke around, I would go to patreon.com/ThinktwiceMTG just to see what we have to offer. We also want to give a special thanks to our graphic designer, Amber West. You can find her work at amberwestdesigns.com. We also want to give a shout out to director and producer, John Che. We could literally not do the show without him. We could, it would just be much worse.
Yeah.
But he's here, and he's going to make it good.
Thanks.
We also want to give the biggest shout out to our Agent of Bolus tier producers, Daniel Hunt, Josh Lyons, Matt Lindell. You guys are all the superstars. Always want to give a special shout out to you guys because you are making the boat go. You're at least whipping Ollie and I. We're doing the paddling.
But you're like,
you know, if no one whips us, we're not going to go. We're not going to go.
We're going to get lazy.
We're just going to sit there. We're going to be like, they're not watching. Let's not row for a minute.
Yeah, let's take a break.
Yep. So that's the show for this week, guys.
Right.
We are going to be looking at another movie next week, Solo, a Star Wars story. So if you want to be joined into that conversation, this is your 1 week heads up to check that movie out so you can have fun. I'm really looking forward to it. I hope I'm not disappointed. I'm scared that I'm going to be, but I hope I'm not.
I'm indifferent, so we'll see.
Great. That's what I love. My favorite type of Ollie. Complete indifference. All right. Ollie, I love you.
Love you too, buddy.
All right. We love you guys too. Thanks for listening. See you next week.
Bye, guys.